Welcome to Furniture Clinic. In this video we will show you how to restore a leather car interior. To demonstrate the restoration process, we will be using this car seat, which as can be seen has suffered some light wear and colour loss. As this seat has sustained relatively minor wear with little or no structural damage to the leather, the only products needed for this restoration are the leather colorant kit and the leather binder. The first step in any restoration is to properly prepare the leather, removing any sealants or coatings from the surface. In order to do this, take the abrasive pad, cotton buds and leather prep included in the colorant kit. Place the cotton buds along the centre of the abrasive pad and pour a small amount of leather prep onto the buds as shown. Use this to apply the prep to the entire surface of the leather being restored, rubbing with the pad to remove as much of the finish as possible from the leather. When the colour begins to transfer onto the pad, this is an indication that any finish or sealants have been removed and the leather is sufficiently prepped. It is very important at this stage that you pay extra attention to any creases or folds in the leather, removing as much of the finish as possible. If you are recolouring vinyl, simply add the leather prep to a cotton cloth and wipe the area down, as abrasive pads may cause damage. Please note that the extent of the colour being removed by the leather prep will vary with the age and condition of the leather. Once the area being restored has been sufficiently prepped, it is important to clean it to remove any residual contaminants or dirt. For this we use the alcohol cleaner and the cotton cloth included in the colorant kit. Simply add the alcohol cleaner to the cloth as shown and wipe the area down thoroughly, again making sure that the whole area, including creases and folds, are treated. After cleaning, take the leather binder, add a small amount to a sponge and apply to the entire area. This soaks into the fibres, binding them together and strengthening the leather. You will need to apply approximately 3 to 5 coats of this, leaving sufficient time for the previous coat to dry before applying the next, and always making sure that where there is a build-up of binder in areas such as stitching or deep crevices, that these are wiped away before they have time to dry. Once the binder has been given sufficient time to dry, the next stage is the application of the first coat of leather colorant. For the first coat, simply apply a small amount to a sponge and rub onto the leather in a circular motion. Applying the first coat in this manner ensures that the colorant penetrates into any creases or valleys in the grain. Apply the colorant to the entire area and allow to dry. After the first coat, the leather is ready to be coloured using the airbrush provided in the colorant kit. Hard to reach areas such as stitching should be coloured first to ensure they are adequately covered. To do this, use one hand to expose these areas and apply a thin coat as shown, using just enough colorant to cover the area without leaving a build-up. When you are satisfied that all of these areas are done, use the airbrush to apply the colorant to the rest of the leather surface. It is important that time is taken over this stage, building up the colorant layer in a series of thin coats, allowing each coat to dry before applying the next. This will create a more professional end result, preserving the look and feel of the leather and giving a nice even finish. Altering the direction you spray from with each coat will also aid this. There are no hard and fast rules on how many coats are required. You should simply use enough to completely cover the surface of the leather. In this example, 3 coats were adequate to cover the entire seat. Once the leather colorant has been applied, the final step is to seal the colorant and provide the required finish. Using the airbrush, apply 2 coats of the glossy super seal, even if you are going for a matte or satin look, as this forms the basis for a stronger, more robust finish. When the super seal has been applied and allowed to dry, you can apply the remaining matte, satin or gloss finish again using 2 coats to give the desired effect. To complete this example, we use the stylish satin finish. As can be seen in these images, by following these steps and using the right products, a worn, tired looking leather interior can be transformed to look as good as new.